Will everyone please stand and say with me the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, Patriots. I'm Dylan Reed, your junior class president, and you are watching The Minute. Thank you for joining us this Friday morning. Today is National Food Day. Seniors, today to Sunday is the last few days of free college application week. Make sure to find which schools are participating and take full advantage of this opportunity. There will also be an RIBN presentation next Wednesday, October 29th in the Media Center at 12:35 or 1:10. Sign up by the 27th in Student Services. Remember, there will be a quiz bowl practice on Monday afternoons, 2:45 to 3:30, and Thursday morning, 7:15 to 7:40, in Miss Melby's room, 914. See Miss Sherman or Miss Melby with questions. Now, over to sports.
Hello, I'm Gary Evans bringing you today's sports news. Men's basketball tryouts are here. JV and varsity tryouts will start October 29th to 31st, 5 to 7 p.m. Winter track starts on Wednesday, November 5th at 3 p.m. on the far side of the track. Make sure you have a physical on file. The varsity football team will also play against Croatan tonight at 7. Go Patriots! Now, over to Sam.
Thank you, Gary. Hello, Patriots. My name is Sam Park, and I'm bringing you today a special message brought to you by Sandy Hook Promise. Students, please watch the following video with your undivided attention and have a great Friday.
Hi, I'm Sarah and I'm from Sandy Hook Promise.
Welcome. I'm Brandon Rainey from Sandy Hook Promise.
Hi everyone. My name is Jordan and I'm a sophomore at Hickory Ridge High School in Harrisburg, North Carolina. I'm also a National Youth Advisory Board member for Sandy Hook Promise's SAVE Promise Clubs. SAVE stands for Students Against Violence Everywhere.
Hi, my name is Drew. I'm a senior at Cutler Bay Senior High in Cutler Bay, Florida. Like Jordan, I'm also a National Youth Advisory Board member for Sandy Hook Promise's SAVE Promise Clubs.
We're here to talk to you about the Say Something program, which will help you to save lives by empowering you to prevent shootings, violence, suicide, and other harmful acts in your school and community. Also, before we begin, I want to give you the number for the crisis text line in case you need help from an adult and your trusted adult isn't available. Take a moment and write down this number for the crisis text line. It is 741-741. A live trained crisis counselor will respond to provide support and help. Again, the number is 741-741. Today, you will learn 3 steps that will help you keep your friends and classmates safe from hurting themselves or someone else, simply by saying something. Step 1, recognize warning signs and threats. Step number 2, when you observe a sign or threat, act immediately and take it seriously. And step 3, say something to a trusted adult or call 911 in an emergency. Using these 3 steps will empower you to help keep your school safe and to get help for people who need it. Before we jump into each step, I want to emphasize that overall, schools are safe. Your teachers, administrators, and staff are continuously working to ensure your school is safe as possible. However, schools are not immune to shootings, violence, suicide, and threats. There's still a possibility that these things can happen. That's why we're here today, to teach you 3 steps that you can use to help keep your school safe.
Now I'm going to talk more specifically about what you can look out for. This is step 1, recognize warning signs and threats.
So what is a warning sign? A warning sign is something a person says or does that shows they may be planning to harm themselves or others. Here are some examples of warning signs a person may be planning to harm others. I want to emphasize, though, that this is not a list of every warning sign. Being obsessed with weapons or school shootings, talking about hurting other people, talking or posting about an upcoming attack, and bringing a weapon to school.
Here are some examples of warning signs a person may be planning to harm themselves. Feeling like things will never get better, talking about wanting to die, talking about a plan to die, and cutting or burning themselves.
Here are examples of warning signs that a person may be in crisis, which is when someone is going through something that is overwhelming and they need help. Big changes in personality or appearance. For instance, a friend who is usually happy is now frequently angry and aggressive. Withdrawal from friends and activities. For instance, a friend who hangs out with you almost every day after school, but now goes directly home to be alone. Refusing to go to school or skipping school a lot. Being physically or verbally abused. For instance, a friend who tells you his father hits him every time he fails a test. These are all warning signs.
Other warning signs that someone may be in crisis include being bullied or bullying others based on real or perceived differences, including any of the following: race, gender, sexual orientation, religion, disability, and body type.
As you've just learned, there are many warning signs we can watch out for. We also have to be aware of threats. So what is a threat? A threat is when a person communicates that they intend to harm themselves or others. Someone might say a threat, write a threat, or post a threat on social media. Here are some examples of threats to others. I'm going to take them all out. They will regret they ever met me. Here are some examples of suicidal threats. I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to end it all. Where are these warning signs and threats found? Anywhere and everywhere. For example, you can find them in a school, in places like classrooms, the hallways, and the cafeteria, as well as outside of the school in places like the bus, at home, at parties, and at sporting events.
Social media is a main source of warning signs and threats. It's where so many students go to make a threat or express their feelings, including anger, anxiety, or depression. And what we know is that adults aren't on the same social media platforms we are, so they aren't seeing everything we see. That's why it's so important to learn how to recognize when someone needs help. You are the eyes and ears of your school.
Now that you know step 1, how to recognize warning signs and threats, let's learn about step number 2. Act immediately and take it seriously. Act immediately when you see or hear a warning sign or threat, and get help. It's essential to act immediately because all too often, no one acts at all.
It's important to acknowledge that it can be difficult to act immediately. Here are some reasons that people may give when they don't act immediately. She's too young to hurt herself. I thought someone else would do something about it, or he just wants attention.
One of the biggest reasons that can stop you from acting immediately is that you'll be called a snitch. But there's a big difference between snitching and saying something. When you snitch on someone, you're trying to get someone in trouble for your own gain. When you say something, you're getting someone help for their own safety and protecting others from harm. Saying something is simply about getting someone help.
After you recognize warning signs or threats, act immediately and take it seriously. The third and final step is to say something to a trusted adult or call 911 in an emergency. I want to highlight that you should always say something if a friend or classmate is displaying warning signs or communicating threats. Also, if you recognize that you are displaying any of these warning signs, you should say something to a trusted adult. Trusted adults are adults who listen to you and take your concerns seriously. You are the best judge of the trusted adults in your life.
Your trusted adults can be a lot of different people. They could be your teacher, a school administrator, your school counselor, or your coach. And there are lots of different types of coaches. You could have a basketball coach, a drama coach, or a chess coach. Your trusted adult could also be someone outside of school as well. Your parent or guardian, A mentor, for instance, a family friend you can talk to. A family member or a community leader, for example, a religious leader like a priest or a pastor. I want to emphasize that this is not a full list of trusted adults. These are just a few examples. There may be other people in your life that are your trusted adult that are not included here. And it's important that you know who your trusted adults are right now. That way, if you see warning signs or threats, you'll know who to go to immediately. It can be hard to have these conversations, so let's look at a strategy you can use that might help you with these conversations. First, tell your trusted adult who you are concerned about. You can use this language to start the conversation. I'm concerned about. For example, I'm concerned about my friend. The second part is to describe what warning signs or threats you are seeing and bring any texts, videos, or pictures you may have. You can use the word because to start to describe why you are concerned. For example, I'm concerned about my friend because he's being bullied. The last part is to tell your trusted adult what you would like their help with. You can use the language, and I need your help to explain what you would like them to do. For example, I'm concerned about my friend because he's being bullied and I need your help to make it stop. To summarize, you can use this language to help you talk with your trusted adult. I'm concerned about, because, and I need your help to. And remember, if your trusted adult isn't available, you can also contact the crisis text line at 741-741. A live, trained crisis counselor will respond to provide support and help. If you haven't already, take a moment and write down the number of the crisis text line. It is 741-741.
Now, let's talk about 911. You should only call 911 when there's an emergency and then tell a trusted adult. An emergency is when someone needs help right away because they are injured or in immediate danger. Now, I know calling 911 may seem difficult. You may be nervous because you've never called 911 before or worried about giving the right information. Also, sometimes people are concerned of what's going to happen when they call 911. For instance, I have a friend who's had bad experiences with the police, and they're concerned about how the police might react if they call 911. I have another friend who has struggled with mental health, and they told me they're reluctant to call 911 because they're worried whoever responds may not understand their needs. This is why we want to provide you some more guidance about when to call 911. Call 911 when there's an emergency. This is when someone needs help right away because they are injured or in immediate danger. Here are examples of emergencies when you should call 911 first and then tell a trusted adult. Someone threatens to kill people and shows you a weapon. Someone threatens to take their own life and has access to pills or a weapon. Or someone is unconscious. Here are some examples of situations that are not emergencies. Someone stops coming to school. Still tell a trusted adult. If someone is very upset and angry but not threatening anyone, still tell a trusted adult. If you have questions about when to call 911, talk with your trusted adult.
Today, you learned the 3 steps to say something. Step 1, recognize warning signs and threats.
Step 2, act immediately and take these warning signs seriously.
Step 3, say something to a trusted adult or call 911 in an emergency. By bringing the 3 steps of say something into our day-to-day lives, we as students will be able to reduce violence and threats in our schools and make our schools and communities a better place to be. We have that power to make a difference in the world around us, just by saying something.
If you would like to be more involved with helping to keep your school safe, I encourage you to join or start a Save Promise Club. Save Promise Clubs are free, student-led clubs that are in schools across the country. Save Promise Clubs take an active role in keeping their classmates safe and building safer schools. To learn more, go to sandyhookpromise.org and search for Save Promise Clubs.
Thank you for taking the time to learn about the Say Something program. And remember, if your trusted adult isn't available, you can also contact the crisis text line at 741-741. A live, trained crisis counselor will respond to provide support and help. If you haven't already, take a moment and write down the number of the crisis text line. It is 741-741. Being a student means you are uniquely positioned to influence and support the community around you. You can stand up for your school, your peers, and your friends and say something. Thank you.